Normally we were coming at a close, and I only, almost got you, Pat. I just hit the button, but you can come anytime.
I'm closer this time.
Ah, you're good, you're good. All right. I call this meeting to order. Thanks for our visitors, and Mark, nice to see you again. And disclosure any pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. Have we got any? Nope. We don't have a motion. We don't have to go into closed. Council minutes, June 5th. You got that? Is that where we're at? Yep. Moved by Councilor Turton, second by Councilor Elliott, that the minutes of the June 5th, 2013 council minutes meeting be approved as amended. Okay, I think there's any other questions on the minutes? Okay.
Mayor Bridge, top of page 4, when we had our delegation regarding the zoning change for the school,
Mm-hmm.
the public was invited to ask questions. It was Jean Lawless, not Jean
Oh,
Wallace.
it was, yes.
Who had the question
That's
about
right.
North Grand.
Where did we get Wallace there? I don't know.
It's close.
It's close.
There is a Jean Wallace.
I know there is.
Yeah,
but
there
I mean, how we got that, wasn't in the room.
Could I ask Mr. Mayor who took the minutes last meeting?
That's all right, Annalene. You're allowed some mistakes.
First mistake ever.
Okay. Anything else? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Additional items as disclosed to other business. If I have one.
I have one.
Ron Faulkner. Anybody else, if you think of anything, let me know.
Depends on how close to 8 o'clock we are.
Okay. Terry with a question mark. Okay. Question mark for Terry. Okay, good. Moved by Councilor Faulkner, seconded by Deputy Mayor Fisk. The town council convenes in the committee of the whole. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Our next item is a public meeting. Public meeting is to consider amendment to the Town of Minto zoning bylaw number 0186. I will act as the chair of the public meeting. I will call the meeting to order and request any member of the public present to please sign the attendance record book. I believe you already have done that. And if a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the Town of Minto before the bylaw is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the Town of Minto to the Ontario Municipal Board, and the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of the appeal before the board unless, in opinion of the board, there is reasonable grounds to do so. I'll turn it over to CAO Clerk White to advise the purpose and effect of the proposed amendment when the notices are sent.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. The location of the subject property is part of Lot 21, Concession 7, Town of Minto, with a municipal address of 9134 Wellington Road 5. The property is approximately 61 acres in size. The proposed amendment is to recognize the existing farm equipment repair operation and to allow for the construction of a new shop of approximately 8,000 square feet. Most of the repair work is on tractors. The farm building cluster, which will include a new shop, is being placed in the agricultural commercial extraction zone. The only outdoor storage permitted will be for trailers and farm equipment owned by clients of the business, and then only for a temporary period until repaired. Notices were mailed to the property owners within 400 feet or 120 meters of the subject property, as well as the applicable agencies, and posted on the lands May 29, 2013. Comments were received from the fire chief advising that on-site water supply may be required during building permit phase, and the chief building official with no concerns. County of Wellington planner Mark Van Patter also corresponded with council, and you have a copy of the report, and he is here this evening.
Mark, would you like to?
I think I'm on, aren't I?
Yep. Thanks.
So I'm told you don't have much on your agenda tonight. You want me to go slow?
Slow. Thanks, Mark.
Oh.
Whatever.
I'm looking at this proposal as ag-related use, as opposed to a home industry use, which tends, you have to be smaller with a home industry. Currently, they're about 1,500 square feet, and he wants to go up, I think, to 6,000 or 6,500 square feet, with the possibility of going up to 8,000 square feet in the coming years. So we've written the bylaw for the 8,000 square feet. Both the provincial policy statement and the county plan provide for an ag-related use. The property is zoned agriculture. In my opinion, the ag-related uses are still supposed to be small scale, but 8,000 square feet, in my mind, small scale still for this type of use. In terms of the zoning, I'm recommending that it be, the farm building cluster be put into an ag commercial zone, just a small area where the buildings are all gonna be. The closest house is about 700 feet away, and so normally with these things, I'll just recommend that we rezone it to the use that they want. In this case, it's a tractor repair and farm equipment repair. Sometimes if you allow all the ag commercial uses, some of them can be more noxious, like grain drying operations or heavy in traffic use. So that's what I've done in this case. The proposal will meet all the ag commercial setbacks in the zoning bylaw. The only one that, only regulation or restriction that I wanted to put in is to, there is some potential for these operations to end up with derelict equipment and tractors, so, which is unsightly. So what I've done in the bylaw is just put a regulation in there that requires all storage to be inside, except for the vehicles or tractors that are being, they're temporarily for the clients. And that's the way I've structured the zoning bylaw, the amendment itself. I have permitted agricultural uses in that cluster too, because it's a farm operation still, so I want to make sure that was in there. And I think that's about it, Mr. Mayor.
Super. Questions?
Yeah, through you, Mayor Bridge, and I'm not so sure whether you can answer this, Mark or George. The addition, I take it, is going on the front or the back of the existing tractor repair shop? Completely separate? To the back of the towards the back of the property or towards the road? Yes? Okay, okay.
Through you, Mayor Bridge, if the property was ever sold down the road, then they could only use this building for a tractor repair shop, or what would be the stipulation with the new owners?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And my other question was just a temporary, with the vehicles that would be parked there for customer use? Is there any indication of what temporary is considered?
No, we haven't put that in. I think the main idea is that all storage has to be inside. So if the vehicles are being kept for wrecking purposes, then they're not client vehicles. So it's a bit difficult to, enforce, but,
Right.
but on the other hand, we have to have uses like this in the countryside. So.
Councilor Elliott.
There are no MDS issues or anything
No.
like that? Okay.
No,
Is that
we're good
because
that
it's
way.
Because it's industrial or commercial or?
Yeah, and it's
agricultural?
part of the same farm operation.
Okay.
Trying to figure out how to get in.
No, who's trying to get in?
They're going around the front.
They've gone towards the front.
Is it locked?
Well, no, they didn't try the doors.
The other way, Brian, out this way.
Just in case it's somebody.
I have a question, and the fire chief isn't here, so he probably can't answer, but maybe Bill can, about the on-site water supply may be required during the building phase. Have we ever had that clause in a zoning change before? I don't recall seeing that.
That comment, if I may, Mayor Bridge, through you, is new to me, so I'm not entirely sure what he was thinking there. It's not anything that would go in the bylaw per se. He's just passing that on.
Yeah, it's a different thing there.
Wondering about that too.
For safety.
Well, we've seen bigger buildings and,
Go up and
yeah,
down,
without
yeah.
that clause, so I don't know.
Should we have, staff can look into that. It's not part of the bylaw, though. No. Okay, so we can look into that. Any other questions for Mark? Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
I can call on the applicant. Did you want to say anything, George, or? Okay. If there's any questions, we've already asked you, so. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. I'll call anyone who wishes to comment in favor of the proposed amendment. Anyone wishes to comment in opposition to the proposed amendment? Wait till these gentlemen sign in here. Are you gentlemen here about this particular item? Oh, okay, so, yeah, okay, good. Well, I just wondered, I assumed maybe they were. Okay, so you're not going to talk against it or for it at this point in time? No, okay, all right. Okay, as chair of the, if you wish to be notified of the decision of the council in the town of Minto in respect to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment application, you must make a written request to the clerk of the town of Minto at 5941 Highway 89, Harrison, NOG 1ZO, or email at bwhite@townofminto.on.ca. So if there's no further comment, I'll adjourn the public meeting. Thank you. That was an easy one. Good luck.
That's his employees.
Oh, is it?
Likely.
It's great, well, it's great to see some more industry. And I guess, George, you've been doing this for a few years? Yeah, so you're obviously doing well and you're expanding. Perfect. Well, that's nice to see.
Sure is.
Yeah. Delegation, we haven't got any. Public question period, has anybody got a question from the public they want to ask? Okay. Yeah, you can go home, Mark.
Was it a nice drive at least, Mark?
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent question.
Yeah. Yeah. If, yeah. You guys can leave if you want. You don't have to hang around. If you want to stay, you can. Okay. Correspondence received for information or requiring direction of council. Has everybody a chance to look at the correspondence?
Yes.
I'll write a letter back to Maggie and Mandy at Kelk and just kind of explain, or maybe even meet them and talk a bit about some of the things that we are doing as a town. Just to give them an idea. I mean, we have done a lot of actual stuff for the environment, so let's let them know. So I'll do that for us, and maybe send a copy bill through to the council as well on that one. Anything else?
Through you, Mayor Bridge, I just wondered, do we have a history of using the herbicide that the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing
That's a good point.
sent the information out on?
Not, if I may, not to my knowledge, we sent it around.
No. Okay. Anything else? To reports of committee and town staff. Motion to receive. Can I have a motion to receive?
So moved.
Councilor Faulkner. Deputy Mayor Fisk. All in favor? Carried. Reports of committee and town staff. Committee reports. PrAC. Speaking to. Well. Yeah, you should come up. Yep.
Quickly.
Dragging your foot a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I'm way over.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge.
that's all right.
So there's just 2 pages of PrAC minutes here. We met on the 27th of May at the Harrison train station. We had a good meeting. One of the things as follow-up from a previous council meeting that we discussed was the donation towards the hospital gala in Palmerston. Another successful year.
You got her now.
And the total value of the donation was roughly $4,000 when you include facility credits of about $1,500 to $1,600, and then the council grant for bar sales of about $2,477. Other points of interest, the arenas were all inspected for their structural safety, and they all passed, so the company that's doing that will come back in another 5 years and then re-inspect. So this is 2 consecutive inspections where there haven't been any major issues discovered with our structural foundations. We did talk quite a bit at the meeting about what to do in terms of capital work at the Harrison train station. There was a lot of discussion whether to repaint the siding or to go with a vinyl solution. After about a half hour of looking around and talking about it, we ended up deciding that going with a vinyl option that looks as close to the wooden siding that's there is probably the best solution long-term in terms of maintaining its integrity. Our next meeting, we're going to get together on July the 8th. It's going to be a bit of a joint meeting with our Northern Theatre Board at the CNRA Lions Clubhouse in Palmerston, so looking forward to that.
What's on the barbecue? What are you having, like?
I'm
lunch?
not too sure
No?
what Pratt's cooking up for
Steak or-
Norgan.
It'd be great, but I doubt it. We're a
Just
little,
wonder if I should show
little
up.
tight. It might be a hamburger.
Popcorn.
Yeah.
I'll bring my own steak.
Okay.
Were there any questions regarding the minutes?
Have we gone out and are we doing a quote for the siding now, or are we gonna get it done soon, or what's the timetable on it? Did you decide on that, or?
I believe at the meeting Al had secured pricing for both painting and residing, so I'm not sure if it's been awarded yet. That'd be something I'd follow up with Al on.
But you wanna do it this summer?
Definitely,
Okay, good. It'll make it look nice, I think.
I think so.
Any questions?
Yes, Mayor Bridge.
Yes,
Through you, Mayor
Councillor
Bridge. Mr. McEachran's comment about flaking where
Oh, yeah.
it was hand-painted. Do we need to bring the contractor back to have a look at that and perhaps correct it before it gets worse?
Through Mayor Bridge, where we've left it at the staff level is I believe our facilities manager, Al Carr, wants to have a look himself again. At this point, I don't think we're going to be calling in the contractor to fix that. We just want to assess whether or not there is a deficiency or not, so
Yeah.
it's in staff's hands right now.
Thank
So,
you. And Mayor Bridge, just being as I was chair
Yep.
of that and got the contractor, I'd be very interested in hearing a report back on that. Thanks.
So you're gonna follow up with Prac, Ron, on this?
Sure.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks.
motion to accept. Councilor Faulkner, Councilor Sturgeon, all in favor? All right,
Pretty good for a Harrison boy.
are you handling the building, okay,
Mayor Bridge, the chief building official, has brought forward the monthly report for period ending May 31st, 2013. 2013 permits to date, 66 permits worth $7,476,000 compared to 78 permits in 2012 at almost 5.8 million. So in the chart or the graph that he provides, comparing that to the 10-year rolling average, we're well above that to date. So we continue to have strong building permit values. In terms of single-family dwellings, 11 built so far this year or under construction as compared to 12 last year, 3 multiple family dwellings this year. So I think it's still a good, steady, and strong building permit process so far.
excellent. Questions? Motion to accept the report. Councilor Elliott, Councilor Caldwell, all in favor? Carried. Following along, do you want to use the next one as well?
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. The report 12B Item 2, building inspector services for West Perth. We received a request from the CAO of West Perth to help out where we could in terms of catching up on some of the work they have to do down in that area. I know they've worked hard to try and find another inspector to help them with that work. They called us, we spoke to our part-time inspector, and he is available to do some work for them. He has met with their chief building official, and our CBO has also reviewed the agreement that has been brought forward. It is a standard agreement that we've used with other municipalities in the past. I believe chief building official certainly helped out in Center Wellington in my time here, and I think also he's helped out possibly in Howick, if I'm not mistaken. But we've applied this with West Perth. They have signed the agreement. What happens is that Mr. Lewis works for them during the period that he is required. The $50 an hour is paid to us, and we compensate him, so there is some compensation for our overhead, and mileage is paid for him as well. So our recommendation is that you receive the report, and when the bylaw is brought forward, you consider that to authorize the mayor and clerk to sign that agreement.
Councillor Elliott.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just wanting, the only concern I would have if we have no conflict with what has to be done in our community, and that Minto would be first priority. So I think that would be assured, I would hope.
Yes, if I may, Mayor Bridge, that's the case, and I think West Perth's well aware of that too. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Caldwell.
Through you, Mayor Bridge, I just wondered, in the past, the CBO clerk has been the individual that has done this. Is he not interested? He wouldn't have the time to give the commitment, and
Our understanding, if I may, Mayor Bridge, through you, is that they require someone to do primarily inspection work. It's work that the building inspector can do.
okay.
So, and he is part-time, so he simply had more time to do that. And I think, for our perspective, it's always good to have our CBO around here. I do feel like he was stretched pretty thin when he was doing both jobs.
Thank you.
I do believe this isn't, like, this is the time that Tim wouldn't have been with us anyways, so he's using that time for there, so.
Good.
And we're helping somebody out, which is always good. He might need some help in the future. Okay, any questions? I can have a motion. Councillor Turton, Councillor Elliott, all in favor? Carried. Okay. Okay, next is- I guess are you handling this, or is Matt? Oh, Matt's right here. That's why he never left. Aha. There you are. You're smart, Matt. You don't wear yourself out.
Swift of foot.
Efficient.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Bridge. The next two items on the agenda cover 3 agreements that we're proposing council consider passing as bylaws. The first one, actually the first 2 cover agreements that we've had in place since we've introduced our permanent liquor license in 2005 with the Palmerston 81s, now known as the Mapleton Minto 81s, as well as a group that we like to call the Minto Broomball Tournament Promoters. Basically, the 2 agreements that are proposed here this evening are basically the exact same as agreements we've had with these groups in the past. We made some changes just to reflect where our ice rates are going for the adult rate, from 113 up to 122 over the next 3 seasons. There's also provisions where we give them a reduced rate on our hall and kitchen fees, as well. They also get the 25% council grant off of bar sales they generate at their functions. This is just a way to help them offset their costs and be able to run tournaments and events. It's worth noting that between the 81s and these 4 tournaments, that accounts for roughly 20% of our adult ice revenue in just those events there alone. Not to mention the spin-off that it has in the community with people coming to the area and spending money at our stores and whatnot. I'm not sure if there's any questions specifically regarding these 2 agreements.
Councillor Elliott?
Matt, you may point out to our booth revenues go way up to, at that time, not just our bar sales, it's a huge booth for the broomball tournaments.
Yeah, through Mayor Bridge, absolutely, there's some spin-off for us as well. And I do know the one broomball tournament, for example, is run in early November, where we do have a hard time selling that ice on the Saturday, so it's wonderful when they're in there from 8 in the morning until midnight. It's been great for us to be able to offer tournaments of this caliber and this nature, as well as the 81s with the senior A hockey. Even with them playing out of Mapleton a little bit, the majority of their ice time is used in Minto, and I think that's a testament to the working relationship we have with that organization.
Any other questions? I think, somebody move it. Councillor Faulkner, Councillor Turton, all in favor? Okay. Another one there?
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. I believe the next one involves the Drew Community Board and an agreement we have with them. As the town, we own the lands, the Drew Pavilion, Ball Diamond, and Hall. And similar to an arrangement that we have now with the Palmerston Lions with the CNRA building in Palmerston, the Drew Board basically looks after the complete operations of that facility, from booking ball diamonds to pavilion rentals to even running some of their own direct programs in the hall there. They've got a great group of dedicated volunteers in place, and so this is just the way that we can work with them. Again, this is an agreement that's basically been in place since inauguration, and I believe we have a great working relationship with them. I'm not sure if there's any specific questions about that agreement.
Other than that, if you go to one of their events, the desserts are always to die for. You know. They always have good desserts.
They do have a very
Homemade.
loyal base.
Yeah.
Through you, Mayor Bridge, to Matt, out at the Drew building, they painted it, and they put up a bunch of old memorabilia.
Yes.
It looks really,
Looks good
really
inside.
good. They really take ownership out there and look after it, so.
Great deal of community pride.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think it's good, Matt, that, and through PrAC, that you're getting some of these agreements are all becoming more and more conformed to everybody's doing the same thing, which is really helpful. So that's kind of a nice way to get them all in line. Somebody going to move that? Councillor Elliott, Councillor Holwell, all in favor? Great. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
You have one more.
I think so.
It's your night.
Try and line them up that way.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. The final item on the agenda for me, I believe, tonight would just be a quick housekeeping item. We'd like, as the Recreation Department, to move a clause from our municipal alcohol policy over to our donation policy. We had Alcohol and Gaming take a look at our municipal alcohol policy. They conducted a free review, and when they got back to us, they only had two small recommendations. The first was to change profit share to gross revenue share to better reflect the relationship that we have with our clientele, where they receive 20% of the gross revenue before any expenses are taken into effect. That's what they get. The second was to take the provision, the agreement we have with our service clubs, where they are eligible to receive the 25% council grant, and move that out of the policy and into an AGCO's eyes somewhere else. And from talking with our facilities manager, we felt the best place for that would be in our donation policy. So that's just basically a quick housekeeping item. I'm not sure if there's any questions regarding that.
So this would take place when? Right away, or is it gonna, have you talked to Gord, is it gonna reflect on the budget anyway, or?
Through Mayor Bridge or to Mayor Bridge, no, everything will be the same as before. It's just taking that one piece and moving it over. Different accounts aren't gonna be affected differently.
And through you, Mayor Bridge, it doesn't affect liability.
Through Mayor Bridge, no.
Okay. So that's my only concern.
Somebody make a motion?
Sure.
Deputy Mayor Fisk, Councillor Faulkner, all in favor? Carried. Okay, thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
And I'll turn the chair over to Councillor Turton.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge.
That's 3 times in a row I've got that right.
You're doing very well. This being your 29th meeting.
What, is it really?
I don't know.
No idea. Don't even
Yeah.
make me think about it.
Tonight we have 3 items on the Public Works agenda. The first one being the proposal RFP for the consulting, engineering, bridge and culvert assessment, road needs assessment study. So I'll ask our Public Works Director, Mr. Hanson, to give us a report on that.
Thank you, Chair Turton. This is quite a lengthy report, so I'll just touch on some details in it, and if there's any questions, feel free to ask. A little bit on the background. Request for proposal was sent out to close on May 30th for consulting engineering services for consulting engineering. BM Ross was one came in at 26,700. Triton at 24,500. Gamsby Mineral 19,300, and K-Smart at 59,300. The proposal call had the following criteria for reviewing the submissions. Cost components covered 70%. Ability to scope road needs to town budget 10%. Compliance with MTO guidelines, provincial legislation, and Regulation 104/97, 10%. Municipal experience and approach was 10%. Some matters to be considered in assessing the proposals. One was qualifications demonstrate ability, experience, and expertise of the firm. 2 was availability of expertise in bridge inspections and road needs. 3 was qualifications and demonstrated ability, experience, and expertise of the principal contact at the firm. 4 was ability to communicate and respond in a professional, cooperative, and timely manner to requests by the Minto staff and/or council as may be required. References from other organizations that the firm has provided similar services to in the past, including contract information. All 4 of these engineering firms have worked with us in the past. We have a good relationship with all 4 of them. Under comments, staff reviewed the written submissions, and each was scored accordingly. The interviewing process with the lowest bidders allowed, actually, the 2 lowest bidders were Gamsey being in Manro and Triton Engineering. The interview process with the lowest bidder of the bidders allowed Gamsby and Manro to more clearly define the kind of report that would be prepared for the town in the road needs study. And Triton's submission gives the town a full report in a 5-year plan, including addressing fleet considerations. Gamsby and Manro's proposal focuses on providing conditional ratings for roads, although in the interview it was clarified that the required 5-year plan would be provided. There was no discussion of fleet or equipment in Gamsby and Manro's proposal or in the interview. The process of preparing road condition reports were discussed with each firm in the interview. In the interview, Gamsby and Manro explained that they would provide the material in an Excel spreadsheet and a separate map. Triton would provide information in an Access database surveyed through UMA technology that would link to condition ratings and pictures to GPS technology. Triton indicated in the interview that the road and bridge survey using their technological assessment will allow certain deficiencies and additional to road surface conditions to be picked up and identified. This includes things such as ditch conditions, encroachment, guardrails, and similar safety features. Gamsby and Manro could also pick this information during their assessment, but would be considered an extra. Overall, it was felt by the interview group, which was the mayor, deputy mayor, CAO clerk Bill White, myself, that Triton's proposal was more compliant in the written stage to the RFP, and even after clarification was requested only. The Triton proposal addresses fleet equipment. So I'll leave the financial considerations for this is $30,000 is budgeted for both consulting the bridge and culvert assessments, road needs study, and the project cost will be below budget. And I'll leave the recommendation.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions for Brian on this matter? Deputy Mayor Fisk?
Sure, turn to you. It's not actually Brian, it's probably maybe C.O. White you could answer it, but what kind of disbursements would we expect on a contract like this?
If I may, it could vary, maybe 10%, something like that. We should still remain within budget.
And were both quotes the fee plus disbursements then, or?
Yes, they would.
Other questions? So the recommendation of the council received CO and clerk and public work director report dated June 17th through 2013 regarding consulting engineering bridge and culvert assessments, road needs study, and approves the awarding of the RFP to Triton Engineering at a price of $24,500 excluding disbursements and HST. Can I have a mover and a seconder for that, please? Mayor Bridge? Councillor Elliott. All in favor of that motion? Against? That's carried. Thank you. Number 2 then is our roadside grass cutting RFQ results.
Yes, this is our 2013-21 request for quotation. The background on this request for quotation was sent out to close on June the 6th at 11 a.m. Was sent out and advertised to 3 different contractors that we knew of. Only one submission was received back, and it was from S. Driscoll and Sons, $8 per kilometer. As to compare to last year, it was $7.80 per kilometer. $14,000 has been budgeted for the 2013 roadside brushing and mowing for the town of Minto. Submission received falls within our budget. The cost will be $2,960 per cut, with 2 cuts per year, for a total of $5,920. This is a total increase of $74 from the 2012 rate.
Thank you, Brian. Questions, Councillor Faulkner?
Through you, Chair Turton, the 14,000 has been budgeted, so the grass cutting, I understand that part. How much are we going to spend, or how much brushing do we do? Do we have our own equipment to do the brushing, or do we contract that out?
The only piece of equipment that we have close to that is a bush hog. Goes on the back of the tractor.
No, not for cutting, for brushing.
We don't have any.
Okay.
Are you, what are you, the brushing you're talking about?
Where you take the stones off of...
Those stones, don't we have that unit that you have on?
Off of paved.
Intersections? Can't you brush the stones off intersections?
Sweeping.
Oh, sweeping, you mean?
Yeah, that's what he's
That part
talking
of that?
about.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I thought you were talking about brushing.
That's what I
in
thought.
the
We have a-
ditches. So,
you
yeah,
talking
sweeping,
about-
we have our own equipment for the sweeping.
That's
Okay,
this
is that part of this budget?
No, it isn't.
Okay, so you're talking about brushing, getting rid of...
We're talking like,
Taggeralls and that type of thing?
correct, yes.
Okay.
Yep,
tough stuff.
yep.
Well, one good,
That's what I was,
Mayor Bridge?
just a comment, I mean, one thing we're doing really well at is we're growing a lot of grass on the side of our roads, because it's really getting high.
oh, yeah.
So,
Yes.
when does he start this cutting for his first cut?
Well, as soon as this approved,
Yeah, I
probably
was
hopefully
hoping.
next
I was
week.
gonna say, we
but-
could bail a couple round bales out of that, I think. How do you get the equipment in there for that?
Yeah.
Any other questions? I happened to be out on the road today down around below Cambridge, and I seen at least 3 different municipalities cutting grass along the side of the road, so,
Yeah,
I mean,
county's been out for a couple weeks.
yeah, so.
Well, yesterday, the deer came out of that
Haven't done
long
that.
grass, I didn't see it until it was on the road.
Yeah, yeah.
So the recommendation that the council receive Public Works Report 2013-21 from the roads foreman, dated June 11th, 2013, regarding RFQ 2013-08, roadside cutting of shoulders and ditches, and approves the awarding of the RFQ to S. Driscoll and Sons, Driscoll Farms, at the price of $8 per kilometer, excluding HST. Councillor
moved.
Faulkner make the motion. Councillor Caldwell seconded it. All in favor of that motion? Against? That's carried. Thank you. Third item is the resurfacing of the Howick-Minto boundary road.
Yes, on May 29th, 2013, the town of Minto received the attached letter, which is attached to your documents there, from the township of Howick regarding the resurfacing of the Howick-Minto boundary road. Concerns in this letter date back to 2011. Howick proposes to proceed with the resurfacing of the boundary road this summer and funding the entire project themselves. They're asking if the town of Minto would consider repaying Howick their share, which is 50% of this project, early in 2014. Early versions of the 2013 capital budget proposed funding resurfacing of the boundary road from County Road 87 to the 13th line in Minto. At budget, it was determined the town could proceed with Laura Street in Harrison or the town line, but not both in the same year. The project is tentatively proposed for 2014 capital budget at $400,000, which would complete the entire 4-kilometer boundary road from County Road 87 to the edge of Clifford. Whether the project remains for 2014 is a decision by yourself during budget deliberations. Now, I know during the road tour, we went down there and I pointed out how bad a condition it was in. And council has not decided on the allocation of any surplus from the Ayton Road, which we're gonna save some money on that for the paving project, so that's a option too that we can look at. Financial considerations, the interest rate of 1.75% is reasonable, but in a case like this, if we would it would be preferable if town share can be paid all at once, avoiding the need for interest. From project tender to start up and completion, one would not expect payment until later this summer or fall. The estimate cost of the project is based on Howick's estimate of $260,000, making the town of Minto's share approximately $130,000.
Questions? Councillor Faulkner.
Through you, there's two different figures in there. The one says 400,000 for the cost of the project, and the other says 260,000, and Minto's share being 130.
That's
I'm
right.
not
The
sure I
400,000 was budgeted this year. We're taking a wild guess, but asphalt prices are down too. So it's a higher number, but it's a lower, his estimate now is lower. So half our share of the 260,000 is 130,000.
No, I'm just going by the statement there. The project is tentatively proposed for a 2014 capital budget at 400,000, which would complete the entire 4-kilometer boundary road from 87 to the edge of Clifford.
It was in the 2013 budget, and it just got pushed over into 2014, so.
Oh, so 400,000 was budgeted back in
In
2011.
That's correct, yeah. And then it was
Okay.
pushed off, so we just put it ahead to
And
the,
my second question in respect to that, through Chair Turton, is we saved substantial money on the paving cost of the Ayton Road. What did we save on that, do you recall? I thought, it seemed to me 122,000 was the figure, but
Over 200.
Over
it was over
yeah,
200.
I can't think of
Okay.
the total.
Thank you. That's
What it
all.
was, sorry.
Thank you for your answers.
Other questions? Mayor Bridge?
Do you know, Brian, this estimate of 260, how far along are they on their estimate? Are they going to have some savings on asphalt as well?
If I'm not mistaken, through you, Mayor Bridge, CO Clerk had spoken to Ray.
Yep.
And he's the director down there, and I think he had a pretty good idea
That
with a
was-
few phone calls, how much it was gonna cost.
That's pretty well, we think that's gonna be the cost, so it's 130 to us, okay. All right.
Councillor Caldwell.
Through you, Councillor Churton, I was just getting a little mixed up on the dates. Are they gonna physically do the work in 2013 or 2014?
2013, with or without us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
they're
then
gonna-
they're looking for us to pay.
If,
um,
they're giving us an option that if they pick up the whole tab this year, if we would pay our share the first part of
Next
the,
year.
that's correct.
And then we pay interest, or we
And
pay
then
this
we
year
would
with
pay-
no interest.
That's
Okay.
correct, yeah.
Councillor Elliott.
if we paid the $260,000, we're saying we've got around $200,000. Can we get the other $60,000 without?
No, our share's only
130.
130 is our share.
130 is our share.
To-
Oh,
the
so
total-
we'd be fine, we've got it within our budget, then we've got money we could spend on that, then,
That,
without going over
yes,
on our roads budget.
that's totally up to council's decision, which route you want to take. And
Deputy Mayor Fisk.
Yeah, through you, Chair Turton, but I think we're going to probably need more money than we budgeted for this job in Hairston, so I think we have to keep that in mind as well. And
Yeah.
personally, I think that's a priority if we're looking at where we're going to spend this excess money. So I think we need to keep that in mind before we make a decision.
Mayor Bridge.
Along the lines of Deputy Mayor Fisk, that's one concern I have. I know we saved 200,000. That's why I wanted to know this 260. So they're pretty confirmed in their minds, 260.
they're pretty
debt.
firm on that price.
So
yes.
130. We could look at the option, because on our project, we've just gone out to tender, or we're going out to tender on our project in Harrison, right?
That's correct. We haven't gone out to tender. on
So
it.
we could basically wait for that, because they're gonna do this no matter what. Find out if we're gonna have some savings there, because a good portion of that is also paving, so we could maybe get a little bit more for our buck. Because we weren't gonna finish it all at, what did we have budgeted in there, 600,000, I think.
Yeah,
So you'd only have about 70 more here, but I'm just thinking if you get a savings of another 100,000 on that, might be able to do both, but either way, there's an option, we could do it. So that,
Councillor Caldwell.
That was more or less my question was, do we have to commit to this now? Or could we leave it that if we can do it, if not, we'll pay interest?
If I may, through you, Mr. Chair, I believe they would like a commitment one way or the other. I'm not sure they will do it if we're not, if they don't know we're gonna pay either next year or this year, so. I think it would be helpful if we gave them an indication that if we're interested, we'll support them either this year or next, subject to how our
Right.
budget
I
comes
guess
in.
that's my question though, is do we need to narrow it down and say we will do it this year? Or can we just leave it open and say it'll be this year or next?
If I may, I think you should leave it open,
Okay.
and for the reasons that you've already heard here, and the asphalt estimate in Highway 9 is 115 per ton, and it's probably coming in around 70, so I think we're gonna, and this would be the year to do it if we're gonna do the Howick Town Line, Minto Howick Town Line too, so. I think we should give them an indication that we're supporting them going ahead, and we'll let them know how we're gonna pay for it before the fall.
Councillor Elliott.
How do we know we're gonna go over budget on Lower Street? How do we know we budgeted for the amount that we're gonna spend? How are we guessing that we're gonna go over? I don't understand that. If we're guessing now that we went over, why didn't we budget for that? And
T.O. White.
If I may, Mr. Chair, we broke that into 4 phases, and we kind of knew that Highway 9, if we did all 4, we'd be over. But you still have the option in the tender, and it is going to be going out any time now. You do have the option to do only 1 or 2 phases, and you will stay within your budget. But we didn't budget the whole 1.1 million for that project. We
So we're-
budgeted about half that.
So is there a need for the 4 phases to be done? Is that going to, in 1 year this year?
If I may, Mr. Chair, you'll get a chance to decide that when we bring it back to you. It's important we do as much of that work as we can and still stay within our budget.
We probably should have budgeted for 4 phases than trying to guess that we're gonna only do 2.
Well, we're
the money.
pretty careful. I think we definitely need to do phase 1 and 2, and I'm pretty confident we'll have enough budget to do that, for sure.
Mayor Bridge.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're going. I think, Ron, this gives us some flexibility. I think we put this road over to next year ourselves because we wanted to keep as much money, try to do as many of those 4 segments as possible. As you know, we don't want to mess it up because we haven't, in 2 years, we'll be doing the downtown of Harrison, so we want to make sure we get the majority of this done.
Okay.
But I think this is a win-win for us because we can give them the option, they can go ahead, this is their big project, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They can go ahead with it, and if we have to take some of it out of this year and some of it we fund on a 1.75%, we'll figure it out, but it gives us some flexibility. I think it's a good situation to be in.
Fine.
Other questions? Hearing none. The recommendation that the council receive Public Works Report 2013-22 from the Public Works Director regarding resurfacing of the Minto Howick Boundary Road and provide a response to the Township of Howick request that the town fund its share from the 2014 budget. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please?
Can
I
make a comment on that?
Yes.
Well, I would make that motion, but I want to leave the option open that we can pay in 2013 as well.
Yeah, either way, that's what.
Just, that's the only change I want to make to that
Can we make
recommendation.
that change? Okay,
Sure.
so, are
Fund
you,
its share from either the 2013.
Yeah,
or
that's correct.
2014.
Or 2013 or 2014 budget.
can we have a seconder for that then? Councillor Caldwell? All in favor of the amended motion? Against? That's carried. Thank you very much. Thank
And if
you.
I can just add, Counselor Chair, or Counselor Turton, that on the Elora Street, I got the drawings on my desk that are just about done reviewing, so they'll be going back to head out to tender and put it on top priority on that one. So
We're looking forward to that. Thank you. Pass the chair back to our mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Turton, and I'll turn it over to our Chair of Finance, Councillor Caldwell. And you're on your own tonight, you're flying solo.
Yeah,
No
well,
treasurer, he's off somewhere.
Treasurer, and, I mean, I'm
You
fine
put your
with
mic
this, or
down,
did you
Mary
want
Lou.
to?
Your mic down
Yeah.
there, please.
There you go. We
Yes,
want to make
thank
sure
you.
you're
We
on.
only have one item on the agenda,
Yeah.
and I'm fine presenting it, Bill, or did you want to present it? The only thing to mention
I'm-
is the administration, which is taxes.
Big.
Or shares.
Right, I have if I may,
Yes.
Madam Chair, I just did, wanted to play treasurer a little bit, since he gets to play me when I'm not here. So. Don't ask me any other questions, though. Just to give a little detail, because I think the treasurer likes to give a little bit of detail behind some of the numbers. The admin was a debenture payment, as I think the chair was saying, 190,000 of that is a debenture payment. In the people and property, there's 22,000 for ice storm cleanup, and the Saugeen Valley Conservation Authority levy is nearly 20,000 of that as well. In the fire department, 14,000 relates to the station expansion. In cemetery, there were 6,000 in benches purchased. And then in the recreation one, we have expenses related to our licensing of the facilities, some work done at the Palmerston Arena, and some other capital work that was done there.
Okay, does anyone have any questions on the report? Okay, then the recommendation is that the Council of the Town of Minto receives the Treasurer's report dated June 7th, 2013, regarding approval of accounts, and approves the Town of Minto's accounts by department for June 2013. May I have someone make that motion? Councillor Faulkner, seconded by Councillor Turton. All in favor? Against? Motion passed. Thank you.
Okay, that's back to myself, and other businesses disclose additional items, and I believe, Ron, do you
Yes, I would just like to say on behalf of council, if I may, offer our condolences to the Pridham family and the Harrell family on the passing of Mr. Pridham, who is a past councillor for the township of Minto. Thank you.
I guess it's myself, and I just want to talk about one little item that's coming up on Saturday. We have the Splash Bash, is that what it's called? Yeah, Splash Bash? And I believe the weather's good, Matt? Have we got good weather? You're in charge? Good. And so if you want to come out, I'm cooking, what I did was I volunteered to pay for, out of myself, for the hot dogs and whatever. I think is there usually ice cream or something?
$3,000 worth of hot dogs.
Of hot dogs. To a certain limit, I believe. So, but I'd certainly welcome some cookers if anybody wants to come out. I think there's a strawberry social, I believe, at the farmer's market on Saturday as
Yes.
well. So it's a great time to go to the farmer's market.
What's the time,
And
Mayor Fisk?
It's,
Or Mayor,
it's 11 to, what do we usually cook to, 1?
Yeah.
11 to 1, so feel free. I'm sure I'll hand you a spatula or a apron, and I know that the Lions are going to help me too, but if you want to come out and have some fun, by all means, come out.
If I could add to that, Mr. Mayor, there's, just for everybody's enjoyment, they're going to have the fire department be down there.
Yep.
There's Pool's free for the night, for the day. They have the splash pad going. They have little slide things and all kinds of, they have little green men walking around.
Yeah, they have all kinds of neat things.
So they have all kinds of things, and plus the farmer's market's going at the same time. So there's all kinds of activities, and
I believe the little
Lions-
train will probably be
Yeah,
going. And
Yeah, the Lions for that day want people to come out and leave their wallet in their pocket
Yeah.
instead. We've always asked for them to take their money out of it. So this is our opportunity to ask people to enjoy themselves. There's a free movie, and the town kind of partners with us on this, and we sure appreciate the opportunity to offer the Northern Theater for that afternoon too. So there's usually a free movie for that, and lots of fun, and if you've got some kids you want to bring along, it's great for everybody.
Yeah, so by all means, we'll have some fun. Yeah. Okay, that's what I had. Terry, did you?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we had a near tragedy in this community with our Amish neighbors. And I've asked before about trying to provide them with a bypass past the Tim Horton situation because they have problems there with the horses balking with the tractor trailers on both sides of the road. And till now, nothing's been done with it, and I strongly recommend that we look seriously at it, whether we have to have a staff report or what we need, I don't know. But there is a spot there that potentially could solve
Yeah.
that issue.
Did you, I know the staff have been working on something, maybe Bill can fill us in where it's at here.
Wasn't to say much more than that, we were bringing back a report to you.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. I just thought that we don't want to have something like that on our hands because of something that we maybe could have
Well,
done to avoid it.
it certainly will help on, like, especially when heavy weekend traffic days, if somebody can come in, if they want to go to the grocery store or whatever, you can come in somehow and get down John Street and not have to go through all the traffic we've got, so. Yes, it's a sad situation. I know the town has donated, as you know from the paper, the facility for a fundraiser. And whatever we can help, we will be helping. I believe you're doing some stuff, Ron, as well, and
Yes, I've driven them back and forth from Hamilton
Right.
to get castings
Yeah.
redone.
so I'm glad everybody is sort of coming along, and it could have been a lot worse than it was, actually. It's bad enough. Point.
Mayor Bridge, on another note, if I may, you did receive an email today from the Economic Development Coordinator regarding the Community Gardens event on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Just wanted to remind you of that and encourage anyone who's interested to attend. There are speakers proposed, and should be a good event on anyone who's interested in that initiative.
Right.
I certainly would appreciate your support if you can make it.
Yeah, and one other thing I thought of it, the Safe Communities, they're doing the over in Mount Forest at the complex on Thursday afternoon as well. And it's open house for you to come over, and there's gonna be school kids there and whatnot. So I think it starts about 1:30. If you want to hit that, anybody, by all means. All right,
And the open house for the
20th.
paralegal is a week from,
yes,
is that correct?
yes, a week from Friday, we'll be doing an open house for the new store up in grand opening. Right, good. Okay. Moved by Councillor Caldwell, second by Councillor Faulkner, the Committee of the Whole convenes into the Town of Minto Council. All in favor? Carried. And we have no notices of motion. Okay. Moved by Deputy Mayor Fisk, second by Councillor Turton, the Council of the Town of Minto ratifies the motion made in the Committee of the Whole. All in favor? Opposed? Anybody cares? Like, okay. Okay. People in their wallets, I don't know what's going on.
What'd you say?
Moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Caldwell, the bylaw number 2013-47 being the bylaw to authorize the mayor and the clerk to execute an agreement between the Corporation of Town of Minto and the Mapleton Minto 81 to be introduced, read, and first, second, and third time, and passed in open council, sealed with seal of the corporation. All in favor? Carried. Cool. Moved by Councillor Faulkner, second by Councillor Caldwell, the bylaw number 2013-48 being the bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to execute an agreement between the Corporation of Town of Minto and the Minto Broom Ball Tournament promoters be introduced and read, and first, second, and third time, and passed in open council, sealed with seal of the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Turton, second by Deputy Mayor Fisk, the bylaw number 2013-49 being the bylaw to authorize the mayor and the clerk to execute an agreement between the Corporation of Town of Minto and the Drew Committee Board be introduced and read in first, second, and third time, and passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Counselor Elliott, second by Counselor Faulkner, bylaw number 2013-50 being the bylaw to repeal the bylaw 2013-38 of the town of Minto to approve no parking signs on, in Harrison, June 13th, 14th, and 15th of 2013 be introduced and read first, second, and third time. The passed and open council sealed the corporation. There we go. Are you all
I'll
for that?
definitely move that.
Move that one?
I thought we wanted to have a barbecue at
I saw somebody parked. I wasn't even home.
community barbecue.
Moved by
at
Deputy Mayor
Falmouth.
Fisk, second by Councillor Turton, the bylaw number 2013-51 being the bylaw to authorize the mayor and the clerk to execute an agreement between the town of Minto and the municipality of West Perth regarding the building inspector services be introduced and read in first, second, and third time and passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Colwell, second by Councillor Elliott, the bylaw number 2013-52 being the bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 0186 for the subject property, part lot 21, concession 7, 9134 Wellington Road 5, Whites Road, be introduced and read and first, second, and third time and passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor? There you are. Moved by Councillor Faulkner, second by Deputy Mayor Fisk, that the bylaw number 2013-53 being the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the June 18th, 2013 Committee of Council meeting be introduced and read in first, second, and third time and passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Turton, second by Councillor Elliott, the Council of the Town of Minto adjourns to meet again at the call of the mayor. All in favor? Is somebody delaying that for a reason? Thank you very much.
I'm 5
Who won?
after.